Obiano honored as champion of democracy in Boston, USA. Today is World Food Day. Kayode Fayemi sworn in as Ekiti State Governor for second term. And on the foreign scene, Israel bulldozers enter Palestinian village ahead of demolition. My name is Chidima Orawan. You're welcome to the news at 7:30. Governor Willie Obiano has been honored as Nigeria's champion of democracy by the Nigerian-American Multi-Service Association, NAMSA, in Boston, United States of America. We have details from our studio.
The Nigerian-American Multi-Service Association, NAMSA, is a Boston-based umbrella association of Nigerians in Massachusetts that is dedicated to promoting and preserving the culture and heritage of all people of Nigerian and African descent in the United States, and also working to provide supportive environment through education, networking opportunities, and other services that would help their fellow compatriots adapt and thrive. The ceremony, which brought the governor's business tour of Boston to a glorious climax, was marked by encomiums from members of the association of the organization who represent the various segments of the Nigerian subculture in Boston. Bestowing the honor on Governor Obiano, the president of the association, Mr. Godwin Nnanna, lauded him for proving through his stellar performance that good governance is possible in Nigeria. According to him, the recent triumph of 5 Anambra girls who won the gold medal at the World Technovation Challenge in San Francisco did not drop from the skies, but rather a product of sound policy making and implementation, noting that all performance indicators have been improving since Governor Obiano took over the reins of leadership. He praised the governor's stream of excellent performances, which he said had kept Anambra steadily in the news, and urged him to remain steadfast on the path of purposeful governance, as it was the only hope for Nigeria to overcome her myriad of development challenges. Mr. Nnanna expressed the gratitude of NAMSA to Governor Obiano and his wife, Ebelechukwu, for honoring the association with their presences, and assured them of the resolve of the association to lend a helping hand to his efforts to bring rapid development to Anambra State. Speaking in a similar tone, other prominent leaders of the association, including Professor Ajibola Osinubi, Dr. Joyce Nwosu, Ms. Nkoli Onye, and Professor N.T. Izuchukwu, praised Governor Obiano's sterling accomplishments in office and urged him not to drop the baton in his second term. Receiving the award, Governor Obiano reassured that his administration will keep doing what is best to defend democracy in Nigeria, and thanked members of the association for the honor.
Today is World Food Day. World Food Day is a day established by food and agricultural organizations around the world. Correspondent Chinaza Ezangwe sampled people's opinion on the significance of the day and reports that World Food Day is held annually on every 16th of October. Her report.
World Food Day is held annually on every 16th of October. Speaking on the significance of the day, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Emenike Ezinando, explained that food is one of the most important needs of man and should be in adequate supply to the masses, but regretted that it is not the case in some parts of the world, especially the developing countries like Nigeria. He posited that to achieve zero hunger in the world, people have to go back to agriculture to achieve food security. On the efforts of Governor Willie Obiano's administration in achieving the vision of his administration in agriculture and food sufficiency, Dr. Ezinando said that the state government has distributed improved seedlings and provided extension services to meet farmers at their points of need, to guide them on how to use inputs distributed to them. He explained that the state government also distributed relief materials and financial assistance to flood-affected people and plans to facilitate their going back to farm immediately the flood recedes, and has as well initiated measures for all-year cultivation. Also speaking, the Deputy Director, Extension Services, Ministry of Agriculture, Mrs. Ifeyinwa Uzoka, added that Obiano's administration is bent on achieving steady food sufficiency in the state and implored farmers to assist him to achieve the set goals by maximizing the use of inputs given to them to produce both for consumption and commercial. On his part, the traditional ruler of Ifitedunu, Dr. Chukwuemeka Iluno, regretted that over the years, people abandoned agriculture for white-collar jobs, which he pointed out adversely affected agricultural development, and advised all to turn back to mechanized agriculture to enhance production of food and alleviate hunger in the world.
Leadership, government of the day, have they encouraged the citizens to embrace agriculture? By encouragement means he make land available, he make work available, he give support how we implements. Fage you work on your wall. He can yell for irrigation farming can we all year round, because it is by so doing and you'll be able, you create the environment. You pick up.
A nutritionist at Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University Teaching Hospital, Amako Oka, Mrs. Onyinye Anyekwe, while explaining what constitutes a balanced diet, said that the 6 classes of food are supposed to be contained in every meal to enable one build a strong immune system and help the body fight diseases. While speaking comparatively on the prices of food items in the market, a trader at a Koka market, Mrs. Obianuju Ezilo, remarked that some food items are relatively cheaper this year than it was previous years, especially gari, plantain, rice, crayfish, among others, while prices of yam and egusi are still on the high. Chinaza Ezenwa, ABS News.
Of Orafa village, Abagana in Njikoka Council area, and now contending with erosion over some parts of the village. Unfortunately, it will appear the forces of nature are having an upper hand as the village is under serious threat by erosion. ABS crew visited the Anyansa Street erosion site, which is about 4 kilometers in length and over 6 feet deep. Correspondent Emmanuel Konkwo has the report.
The ABS observed that the erosion site, which has deepened and widened following this year's heavy rainfall, according to the villagers, threatens lots of building and economic trees in the area. It was also observed that members of the community have made some efforts to control the menace by constructing big drainage channels in some parts of the site, which yielded little or no result. Speaking on the threat, one of the owners of the buildings around the site, Mr. Matthew Okeke, cried out for urgent intervention of the government on the erosion site to save house owners and villagers in the area the risk of losing their houses and other properties.
Government, state, federal, and even local government.
On his part, the chairman of Orofia Village Association, Mr. Sebastian Anyanse, who disclosed that the erosion site was once a footpath linking the village with the community's market, Oyagwa Bagana, before the erosion started, appealed to the government to urgently tackle the menace.
The next rainy season,
Contributing, the President General of Abagana community, Sir Ikem Onwade, who recalled the efforts of the community towards controlling the menace, thanked the state and federal government on the efforts they are already making towards recovering 2 other erosion sites in the community. He named the sites as the Ozara farmland and Uluopala Umudunu erosion sites, and called for inclusion of the Anyanse street site in the scheme for the safety of the villagers and their properties.
Aiming at good-spirited people. It's not always government, but I know that some of us are blessed by God financially, and some of us have make of human kindness in them. So if they see this kind of thing, that they can commit money to help humanity, they will jump at the opportunity.
From Orofia village, Abagana, in Njikoka local government area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
And still on the news, in commemoration of the 2018 Global Hand Washing Day, the Anambra State Library Services have taken sensitization tour to some schools in Oka and its environ, as well as the Nigerian prisons Amawabia. Chibuzo Koye's report is taken from our studios.
Some of the schools visited were Reach Valley Academy, Oka, Udodima Primary School, Okbono, and Perpetual Help Nursery and Primary School, Amawabia, all in Oka South local government area. The Global Hand Washing Day is a global advocacy day dedicated to increasing awareness and understanding about the importance of hand washing with soap as an effective and affordable way to prevent disease and save lives. Research indicates that about 70% cases of diarrhea may be associated with poor food hygiene, and food-borne illnesses, a major cause of death in low-income setting, particularly among the children under age of 5. Contamination of food can lead to a wide range of illnesses and outbreaks which are dangerous to pregnant women, fetuses, and people with compromised immune system. Speaking to the ABS, the Acting Director, Anambra State Library Services, Dr. Nkechi Udeze, opined that the State Library Services give health information services, and the sensitization on Global Hand Washing Day as one of them, and noted that some sicknesses are contracted through hands. Dr. Udeze maintained that they chose to create the awareness in schools so that pupils will learn the art of proper hand washing, internalize and domesticate it in their various homes for a more hygienic environment.
For us to give children, especially children, that awareness so that they start washing their hands very well, and then to even tell their parents, children the way they behave. I'm sure that when they get home today, they will teach their own mom and dad how to wash, and that using running water, because even in our various homes, we use bowels to wash, and because of the International Hand Washing Day, the Global Hand Washing Day, so many people will be aware that running water is the best.
One of the head teachers of the school visited Mr. Emmanuel Anyanwu, appreciated members and staff of the State Library Services for the sensitization, and promised that they will utilize the knowledge they acquired during the sensitization in their school.
We are showing the board that we here at Rich Valley Academy would always wash our hands. And we just wash our hands, we wash it the proper way with soap and running water. Thank you very much.
The State Library Services donated running water buckets to each of the schools visited and Amawabia prisons, while the theme for the 2018 Global Hand Washing Day was Clean Hand, a recipe for health.
Though the state government has made efforts and put measures in place to assuage the sufferings of flood victims in parts of the state, people of the affected communities still counting their losses have not relented in their spiritual well-being. The present flood devastation in parts of the state has wreaked tremendous havoc and has not started receding as greater part of Anambra West local government area remains submerged. Some Christians in Anam recognize the depression that could emanate from the loss and realize that nothing is impossible with God. The parishioners of St. Theresa's Catholic Church, Umweza Anam, in the Anambra West local government area, defied the flood, insisting on holding their Sunday service within the small portion of land they could find around their submerged church. The entire community has remained flooded, with social life grounded, schools closed, while Kenya has become a veritable means of transportation, and people live even on the Anam Bridge. On their decision not to evacuate to the IDP camps, some affected people, while giving various reasons, urged government to properly supervise activities in those places to ensure that the relief material gets to those for whom they are meant. They, however, thanked Governor Obiano for timely intervention and called attention on the need for prompt cleaning and rehabilitation of affected people and places after the flood. The immediate past Minister of Solid Mineral Resources, John Kayode Fayemi, has been sworn in as the Governor of Ekiti State for the second term in office. The oath of allegiance and oath of office were administered on Fayemi and his deputy, B.C. Egbeyemi, by the Chief Judge of Ekiti State, Justice Ayodeji Simeon Daramola. Fayemi, who was the governor of the state between 2010 and 2014, lost his re-election bid in 2014 to another former governor, Ayodele Fayose, in a controversial election that saw the incumbent losing to the entire 16 local government areas. He was, however, re-elected governor on July 22nd, defeating his closest opponent and the immediate past deputy governor of Ekiti State, Professor Kolakbo Olushola Eleka. Fayemi's inauguration ceremony was attended by President Muhammad Buhari, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa. Also, the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Chief B.C. Akande, Chief John Oyegun, and other top chieftains of the party. And now business news. Paul Allen, who founded Microsoft with Bill Gates in the 1970s and later went on to become an investor, philanthropist, and sports team owner, has died after his latest battle with cancer at the age of 65. In recent years, Allen was known as the owner of the NFL Seattle Seahawks and the NBA Portland Trail Blazers, and part owner of the Major League Soccer team, the Seattle Sounders, along with a variety of business and charitable ventures. One of the world's wealthiest billionaires, Allen also founded Satchel Launch System, which built the world's largest plane, designed as a colossal rocket launching aircraft touted as the future of space travel. The craft was on track for its first launch demonstration as early as 2019. Allen died just 2 weeks after publicly revealing that non-Hodgkin lymphoma he fought into remission 9 years ago had returned. The incurable cancer affects white blood cells. He, however, he never married and had no children. Allen was a high school classmate of Gates in Seattle, and later, while working as a computer programmer, persuaded his friend to drop out of Harvard to create Microsoft, which became the world's most valuable company in the 1990s. And now entertainment news. A 20-year-old lady, Amina Hassan, has dragged her father, Hassan Adamu, before a Sharia court at Maginjangari, Kaduna, over the refusal to allow her marry the man she loves. The girl, who lives with her grandmother at Bahasmar Road, Tundanwada, Kaduna, said through her lawyer, Ado Ali, that she wants the court to order her father to marry her off to her heartthrob. The complainant added that she had attained marriageable age and will want to settle with the man she loves, but her father has refused his assent. He also prayed that if the father remained adamant, the court should serve as the girl's guardian and marry her off to the man she loves. Ali said he has made attempts to convince the father to soften on his stand, but to no avail. According to the council, the father is withholding his blessings because the suitor has no regard for him. The girl's council, however, prayed the court to grant the two parties 2 weeks to sort things out and reach an agreement. The defendant's counsel, Nasri Abdullahi, said agreed with the submission of the prosecution counsel for the court to give them time to resolve the issue. The judge, Malam Dahiru Lawal, noted that even though the father had the right to assess his daughter's suitors, he has no right to force anyone on her. He therefore ordered the defendant's lawyer to present the father in court on October 29 for further hearing. Israeli forces have entered a Palestinian Beduin village under immediate threat of demolition in occupied West Bank with heavy equipment and at least 3 bulldozers, according to local media. The bulldozers entered the outskirts of Khan al-Ahmar, northeast of occupied East Jerusalem, for the second consecutive day, leveling ground in preparation for its demolition. On Monday, at least 7 people were injured and 4 others were briefly detained after resisting Israeli forces who had arrived at the village of nearly 200 people. The Israeli government plans to relocate those displaced to either the vicinity of a sewage treatment facility near the Dead Sea or about 12 kilometers away from their homes near the village of Abu Dis, which is near a landfill. Rights advocates said a forcible transfer of the residents will violate international law regarding occupied territory and amounted to war crime. Residents and activists have been protesting against the planned demolition of the village for more than 100 days. Khan al-Ahmar had captured international attention for its years-long legal battle with Israeli authorities over its survival. Israeli authorities set October 1 as a deadline for the residents to dismantle their shacks after green-lighted by an Israeli court. The village is situated in Area C, which, according to the Oslo Accord, is under Israeli Civil and Security Administration. The Israeli High Court ruled in May that the village and its only school will be demolished, stating that it has been built without Israelis' permission. An appeal to that order was rejected by the court last month. And now sports. A Federal Capital Territory High Court has fixed October 18 for the arraignment of a director in the Nigerian Football Federation, Christopher Andekin, and two other officials who were accused of perpetrating fraud to the tune of 3.4 billion naira. The FCC said in a statement by its spokesman, Mr. Wilson Owajarin, that Andekin, who is the Director of Finance, as well as the cashier, Rajan Zaka, and the head finance and accounts, Jafri Mamza, were supposed to have been arraigned on Monday on 5 counts of fraud. However, the arraignment could not hold because their counsel said he has just been served with a charge sheet and therefore asked for more time to study the charges. The throwing in 2015 allegedly diverted money to the tune of 3.4 billion naira belonging to the Federation to personal use. The money was a grant given by the Federation of International Football Association for the development of football in Nigeria. It is also alleged that Andekin fraudulently diverted over 1 billion naira from the domiciliary account of the NFF domiciled in one of the New Generations Bank without due process. And that's it on the news. But before we go, a quick reminder that you can follow news and programs from any part of the world by logging on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. You can also like us at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And now the recap of our major stories. Governor Obiano has been honored as champion of democracy in Boston, USA. The award was presented by the Nigerian American Multi-Service Association. Today is World Food Day. Kayode Fayemi has been sworn in as Ekiti State Governor for a second term. And on the foreign scene, we reported that Israel bulldozers have entered Palestinian village ahead of demolition. And that's the size of our package tonight. Many thanks for watching. My name is Chidimma Oranwa. Have a wonderful night rest.